Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Today I decided to do a presentation here. I'm going to share my screen um, with everyone to let you know kind of like what we got going on today, what's new with MKG Enterprises here, and so this right here is something what we kind of moved into this year for 2021. We actually moved on to the Workiva platform. That kind of what it tells you here, that they simplify complex work, radically transform the way work happens across our organization. Workiva brings together everything we need, our teammates, our database, and data sources, so we can work better in the cloud wherever we are, and what we're doing, automate the slowing down the process and focus on what fires us up. It's the reason why we moved to this, because I know that when we were going through our audited financial statements, we went back and forth with our CPAs, as far as submitting documentations. We wasn't able to track, the time or the billable hours, that we were being billed for. And that was kind of expensive for that process. And so, it was something that I had to do a little bit of research and looking into to find out what I can use that would kind of, give me, put me ahead of the game here. And so, the Workiva platform is what a lot of publicly traded companies use here. And so I think, this is what, people that are investing into our company, what they are, kind of believing in what, our founders are doing here. But, this kind of puts together all of our financial statements, especially when they're on the Excel. I did a lot of research and time and due diligence, and I think, this is the best way, for us to be able to report our financial information. Now, this goes back to 2018, 2019, as well as a 2020 period here. And this is what you would need to get, everything organized, unless you had someone that was really good at Excel. So these are all here, which, is kind of, capturing our financial statements for a 3-year period. This 2020 is not really finalized, but, we know that the deadline for tax day is coming up May 17th, 2020. But I kind of want to give you, a brief overview of how we streamline our financial information here, where, you're privileged to kind of look in to see, look at our statement of our stockholders deficit, our cash flow, statement there. This is something that's really high level overview, and kind of, is the truth teller of, what a company is doing, how much, how much revenue a company is bringing in, especially, companies that are, out here, raising capital or, trying to get people to invest into them. I think it's very important that there's transparency, amongst the board between the investors and as well as the company, kind of looking at, who the shareholders are, how we're keeping track of what shares are issued, who owns what shares, what your residency is, your, information that, is very, important for you to know about a company. Right now, our shares are 16 cents a share. But, we plan to go public, that can jump as high as $5 or whatever the market demands, and so right now this is an early stage opportunity to get in, as far as being investors. Myself, I right here own about 25 million common shares. One of our employees owns 125,000 shares. But overall, we have 99 million shares. And of course, look at the invested capital. Preferred shares, they're going for $1. We have 25 million of preferred shares. I own 11,744,011 of those preferred shares. But, getting back, to the Workiva platform, it's really, diverse and unique on what it does, especially, linking our information. So if you go to our cover sheet, which is kind of a blends a Word document with the Excel. And what it does is it links our information in here. It tells you about our cover sheet about certifying the financials. The table of contents is there. The financial statement you can see here for its unaudited financial statement. But if you wanted to look into see, hey, what is this cash and cash equivalent? If you were to look at this this row right here, it would tell you, it would take you to the linking. I can go to the source. The cell is linked to a source. So if you see that here, it says this cell is linked and must be edited as source. But where's that source at? If you go right here to the source, let's go to the source. Where that information came from in this Word document, it takes you, right here to this Excel, which is going to go back over to our balance sheet. And so that's kind of what, looking at leveraging technology does here. When you look at, your financial statements here, in our cover sheet, which is our balance sheet that goes there, it goes down into our statement of our operations. It kind of breaks it down into there. So I haven't really updated and add as much information for the 2020 as I wanted to, but it also has our statement of a stockholder's equity, which goes there. We started off with 1,000 shares, but now as you see, we have, in the millions now of our shares. Our statement of our cash flow is going to also continue to, flow down into there. Our note one, which is our nature of our operations. MKG Enterprises Corp was formed on March 23rd, 2013, inception in the state of California. The financial statements of MKG Enterprises Corp, which may be referred to as the company, we, us, or are prepared in accordance with the accounting principles generally acceptable in the United States of America, U.S. GAAP. The company is headquartered and located in Fresno, California. But if you go down and look at what is the nature of the operations, we're a diversified emerging growth financial service company. You go down to the summary of significant and accounting policies, our level 2 assets. You go down to our debt, our commitment and contingencies, our common stocks, our stockholders' equity. It continues on. Go down to the stockholders' equity, our related party and transactions, subsequent events, concentration of sales and segment disclosures, subsequent events, our sources of income, our explanation of expenses, our current liabilities. These are things that I think, if you're trying to raise capital and you're looking to, leverage, technology, we also provide, outsource CFO services for your company. But, if you ever want to get your financial statements audited, you're going to understand, what you're going to have to go through back and forth, how things are going to be shared, with, your accountant, but this here is taking things, to a whole nother level. You can actually, also track, how much time, who was in it, the recent files, who is it shared with, you can create tasks that's assigned to individuals, but our recent files are there. It also has a nice audit log, which is, pretty much useful here. You go into the classic admin or the classic profile, but I just kind of want to just kind of share a brief overview of, what's going on with MKG Enterprises Corp, what's new, what are we doing here, as we, moving forward in the year. The year is almost halfway gone here, but, we wanted to drop, this, on our people to let them know, we are really, moving forward here, in what we're trying to accomplish and achieve these goals and be successful with, being able to access the public markets. If you have any questions and you wanted to be an investor, you want to know, how a company is performing, I really don't know no company that's going to offer this real-time, financial reporting and drill it down, to the source of the income, the source of what, you're reading, when you start reading these presentations and these documents and these overviews. I think it's really important, that, you kind of understand that, where the numbers are coming from, where they're getting this information from, how is this information relevant, what's not relevant. But once again, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a close. I want to go ahead and run home for dinner tonight. But I thought, this would be something that I'd share with everyone and just, kind of understand, what we're doing here at MKG Enterprises Corp and how we are raising capital, especially from our investors. You believe in us and we believe in you. And we think, this is a relationship, that we need to have transparency here. But thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. But there is going to be more to come. My name is Marshawn Govan. I am the Chief Financial Officer and President of MKG Enterprises Corp.